All right, John here, and it is August of 2025, and it's a hot one here, Southern California, city of Temecula. A couple days ago, I think it was 105. It's cooler now, thank God. Anyways, it's time to do a little bit of work on this 1991 500 SL with the M119, 39,000 miles, and I've had this car for over 10 years. It's kind of a garage queen. I don't drive it that much. I used to, but kind of now, I don't know. I drive it every once in a while. And there's the M119 engine. And the high idle problem has resurfaced again. So this will be the third video on this. The last video I did on this, I think it was, I replaced the rubber hoses on the idle control valve, which is located under here somewhere, if I remember right. Yeah, it's right there. And I've cleaned this out. What happens with these cars is they at least the 91, I think they might have had a different system for the 92 all the way to 2002, but I believe the 90, 89, 90, 91 had this kind of same idle system, and what controls the idle is this thing right here, and it's got an electrical plug here, and then there's sensors, a coolant sensor. There's I don't know. I think OVP relay. I think there's the ECU, the control module for the idle. There's AC compressor. When it kicks on, it'll, kick the idle up. I've been researching it. I've looked at a ton of information, and it's kind of a nightmare. But anyway, so you drive these when the car's cool for the first, I don't know, 25 minutes, 30 minutes of driving, it's fine. Then as soon as it gets really warmed up, the idle gets stuck at about a little over 1,000 RPM, and it just stays there. You can gas it, and it'll just go up 3,000 RPM, and then it'll come down and just kind of settle at maybe 1,200, and it's just too high for the car. And the car's got over 300 horsepower, so it can be kind of dicey sometimes when you're coming to a stop sign or something. But a lot of people have had problems with this type of system. It's a CIS system. There's not a whole lot of information on it, unless I've just missed it. If anybody knows more, put it in the comments. But a lot of my searches most years were 1991 high idle. I mean, some people have replaced all these parts and they still can't get it right. So for my research, usually the idle control valve is responsible for that. You replace it and then you restore it to normal idle. But that's about $300 for that part right there. And I just want to make sure it's that the voltage is right, because the voltage from what I've been reading and seeing YouTube videos, I'll share some, we'll look at some, is I believe they called it pulse modulation. I could be wrong, but it controls the air that goes to the fuel distributor, and so that's the electronic part of it. It's one guy, you know, put it on an oscilloscope and you could see it's just, you know, going square waves, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. I don't completely understand it. It's a really bizarre way of controlling the idle. There's no screws, there's no adjustment. One thing I do know that I've always had a problem with this, although the engine just runs fantastic, is the EHA valve, the electronic, what is it? Yeah, electronic, I can't remember what it stands for, the EHA. I will, but it's right here, and that's about another $300 part right there. And there's an adjustment, Hertz duty cycle. I believe that's, yeah, you have a test connector under here, and pin 2 and 3 with a ohm meter that can read Hertz duty cycle. And you're supposed to get it at 50%, kind of like the 300E that's under that. That one's kind of a similar system. Well, this one, you can't adjust it. It's always stuck at either 0 or 100% or 90, and it should be hovering at about 50%. And I kind of looked into that, and it's possibly the EHA valve itself, because that car was doing the same thing, and I replaced the EHA, and it restored the function of, you know, it's kind of like an idle mixture, fuel mixture. I always, when I go get tested for emissions, that's you've got to have here in California, I always check that on the 300E, make sure it's, you know, it's not too rich. It'll fail smog test. But anyway, so it could be this here, or it could be this also has electrical wires to it, connection, and I think that's at the ECU also. So what I want to do tomorrow, today's what, Saturday night, tomorrow, my wife doesn't bug me, you know, could you go do this? No, I want to do this. What I want to do is run some tests on it cold. Right here, it's just a 2-pin, and see what kind of voltage we're getting. I've read some stories where, you know, some posts on Ben's World, well, you should have 12 volts there, and then, but most of the troubleshooting is like you should have 4.5 volts right there, not 12. And the valve right here, it's supposed to, when it on the inside, it's just this valve that goes up and down, and when the valve closes down, that's when your idle is perfect. If they get stuck open just a little bit, raises the idle. I don't know what it does, if it sends more air, because these rubber lines are all air going through here. I think vacuum, possibly. I don't know. It's a weird system, and I can't find any information on how it really works. I did find one guy. What is this channel? It's an old German guy. Innova High Tech, something like that. I'll put a link. We'll look at some of his stuff. But he's got several videos on this high idle problem, and he's got, I think it's a 87. I think it's a 560 SL. No, it's not an SL. It's like it's a 4-door, but it's got the idle valve that looks exactly like that. And he runs all these tests. He actually took one apart. We'll look at pictures and see what's inside there. And he runs tests and everything with a DC power supply. So I just bought one. I tested it already, and it seems to work. and you can adjust the voltage and the amps. I think I need to get like 1 amp and the right voltage for that. We'll figure it out. And it makes that, you know, on the bench you could take that out and make, you'll be able to see the valve slide in and out if it doesn't close completely. It can be adjusted. There's an adjustment on it, so if it doesn't close completely, it's you know, I can adjust it. But first I want to know, why is it when it gets warmed up that this problem surfaces? And most likely is as things heat up, they expand, and that little valve that's in there, it's got to slide in and out of a, you know, a little thing there, and it might be expanding and kind of slowing down this little valve from closing all the way. So on the bench, I'm going to take a heat gun and heat the thing up and see if that's it. But first I want to make sure that it's getting the right voltage when it's warm, because that's what's controlling it pretty much. Okay, so tomorrow I'll start working on it, and hopefully maybe this can help somebody else if I can figure it out. And I mean, I can buy the, you know, I can buy the new one, the $300, so I don't want to spend $300 and it does it again, you know. And you got all these modules underneath here. I have replaced the OVP in this, so I forgot why I replaced it. I think I was tracking down a alternator problem or something. But that's the module that controls it is located in here. Got a fuse box over there. Yeah. So that's the game plan. Don't really feel like doing it, but I don't like it when you get the high idle like that. Okay, it's Saturday. No, it's actually Sunday. God, I need to wake up. Okay, so I'm just going to test voltage right now. This is like a cold start, but I'm just going to turn the ignition on and see what kind of voltage this gets right here. And then I'm going to have to warm the car up, drive it around a little bit. Let's see, where's the key? Right here. Okay. Yeah, there's no voltage. Okay, so I've got 1.78 volts. Bring it down to 2. I don't know if we can see this or not. Yeah, 1.7 volts when it's cold. Okay, now, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Go play. So now we're at about 4 4 volts. Which is pretty good. That means that everything is working. You know, there's also a coolant temperature. I think it's a 4-pin, and I think it's in the back. Or it might be now. It might be in the front. Might be right there. I'm just trying to get this thing warmed up. It's 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm still at like 81 Celsius. Tesla. Alright, so you turn here? Yeah. But yeah. Temperature gauge is going up to a sweet spot. A little over the 85, or right about the middle. Roll my window down. So I'm in drive right now. I can feel that it's high. Let's put it in park. Yeah. Okay, there it is. It's surfaced. Okay. Oh yeah, that's about 163. Oh, it's hot. So I'm at about 4.88. So I'm at 4.88, so that is getting voltage. Okay, got to shut the car off, and now it's back to normal. Look at that. Is that weird? Testing. .35. So I'm gonna let the car cool off because it's like, I don't even want to touch anything in there. It's like hot. I'll let it cool off a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull that idle control valve and test it with that DC power supply. Excuse me. DC power supply. Okay, so I got the valve off. You can look at some of my other videos. There's just basically 1, 2 connections, clamps. Unplug this, undo this thing right here. It goes right here and holds it right there. So that's the, God darn, that thing is still hot. Okay, so I've got this hooked up. This thing's kind of weird. I might return it. Kind of hard to use. It doesn't hold the voltages right for me. So if I plug it in, turn it on, and then I've got this thing pointed. You see that light in there? Now when you power it on, you hear that noise. So I'm at 1 amp, 4.4, and I mean, it's closed a little bit. But you shouldn't see any light through there. It should be closed. Watch, I'll unplug it. Plug it in. Now if I, what was it? It was 5 point something when it was warm. I believe that should be closed. Okay, turn this off. Okay, I adjusted it a little bit. So this is 1.7 volts when the car was cold. I plug it in and you can see it move a little bit. And then if I move this to the car is warm. This thing is screwy. And that's at 1 amp. Let's see how far it goes. Yeah, it pretty much closes up. Okay, so I'm just testing it some more. I made an adjustment on this valve. Now I'm just going to test some stuff. So this morning when I tested it when it was cold, this thing measured at about 85 degrees. So at 1 amp, 1.7 volts. Get, let's see if I can get down here and plug this in. Okay. Now that thing was fully warmed up. Let's see. So it's about 5.5. 5.5 at 1 amp. .4. I don't know why it does that. It does. So supposedly this is when I came home. That thing should be totally closed off at night, and it is. take this heat gun. I'm gonna heat this up to 165 because that's what was the temperature of this thing when I measured it with this. Right now we're at about 95. So yeah, I'm gonna heat this up and see if that thing still closes. I did an adjustment with the screw where you put it into this little thing in here and then you pull it out and it lowers the idle. I did read that if you test these with an ohm meter, your ohms should get 0, and I do, so I guess that's good. So can I handle this yet? It's still pretty hot. So what I did was, which I really turned into a mess here. My screw though. See my screw? There it is. So at the end right here, there's a little orange plug. It was plastic, and I just popped it out. It broke. It's just like plastic. That's okay. And inside, you see that brass part right there? There's threads on the inside of that, and this part here was down maybe a half a millimeter. It was down about here. So I got something that kind of fit this. I don't know what thread it is or anything, but it was just a screw like this. I got it in like that. I put it in a vise like this. Then I have a crescent wrench that I put over this bolt, screw, whatever you want to call it. And then with the hammer, I just went tap, tap a couple times, and it brought it out kind of flush, like right here. How flush it is right there. And supposedly that's supposed to fix these things if they're fixable at all. So I'm going to try that. I do see that valve is closing all the way. It's not, you don't see the light shining through other than just the glow of, because it's kind of a yellow plastic, so you're gonna see something, but right now, right now it's way open. So when voltage is applied to it, it closes it off this way. That's what adjusts the idle. And I guess I don't know why the voltage has changed, but like it's a low voltage when it's a cold start. I guess it lets a little more air in there to air into the system so that your idle can be a little high when you start. But my Lincoln does that. It starts out, like 900 RPM for about 15 seconds, and then it comes back down, and it's just kind of like a cold start thing, like a automatic choke type deal, I guess. Anyways, okay, so I'll probably end up having to buy one of these, but I'm gonna try it again. Now it's gonna be dark. Maybe tomorrow when it warms up. All right, let's look at pictures. So this is just the throttle linkage. Your firewall is back here, and this goes up to the front. There's always this weird one that's underneath at the bottom. I don't know, it controls something. I don't know what that is. So this is for a 560 SL, and it works for an R129. What would that mean? Wedge a flathead flathead screwdriver between the neck. Okay, so I guess you can tighten this and it'll bring it. I don't know, mine worked okay. I did it okay. The idea is to bring that little brass insert out a little bit to lower the idle. I just hope when I put it back together, it doesn't have like a super, super low idle. I don't think it will. Okay, so this guy from Stray Benzes, high idle on KE Jetronic, 6-cylinder V8, W124, W126. So there's the idle control valve with the same hoses and everything, you know. And basically, he tests it and it's like 4.5, something like that. Let's see, 1.2, 4 point, yeah, should be around 4 point something. Mine is higher. I don't know if that, I don't know why. I don't think that has anything to, I don't know, maybe it'd have something to do with it. But yeah, there's that little plug right there that you can take that out. And I'll put a link to everything I can find on the description. But yeah, you just pull out that part right there. See, his is in a little farther than mine. Mine wasn't in that far from factory. So I don't know if they adjust each one, you know, when they're putting the car together. But yeah, you shine a light through there, you'll see a little glow, but not a bunch of light going through it. So he pulls it out. Push it in, push it out. It's pretty easy. Yeah, that's how mine is now. It's all the way to the top, and that's where his is. Or adjusting it to that. Here's another guy, Richard, and he's measuring the voltage at his idle control valve, and these are all like, you know, like 560s, you know. So he's got 4.79. You know, if you have no voltage, then you know there's something. There's a sensor, there's your control module that's not sending power through the wires for that thing. So at least that's what I can figure out. So this guy here, Innova High-Tech LED, he's got about 5 videos on this high idle thing for. He's got a model year, let's see, 560 model year, 86 to 91 idle speed adjustment. That's part 2. There's like, I don't know, he's got 4 or 5 of these. High idle when warm, and he shows you same thing, how you can adjust yours. You know, he shows how the whole thing works. You know, you got a spring on the inside, and when you're bringing this thing out, it kind of relieves pressure on that spring a little bit. So you know what I'm thinking is the control module is sending a little extra voltage through there, you know, because the spring is so tight. Maybe I don't know. And then when you bring this part out, it loosens the action on that spring, and so it allows it to close all the way. Yeah, he actually takes one of these things apart. I'll see if I can find that. But it's a pretty good information if you're interested in, you know, just doing your own troubleshooting. You know, he tells you all about that. That's his control module. R129 is totally different. I think they took and incorporated all of that into the main ECU, you know, where the older cars had all these different boards for different purposes. A nightmare, huh? You know, if I wasn't getting any voltage, that's where I'd be hitting. I mean, all kinds of stuff. There's, you know, the OBP relay, the coolant sensors, the throttle position switch, the vacuum lines leaking, you know, but, and it's not all R129s that have this problem. According to him, you know, the V8s, I mean, the 560, you know, in 1991, I believe they had a 560 with, you know, a similar system as the SL. I mean, why would they change it? Anyways, okay, so, okay, I found it. So this is the inside of one of those valves. There's that spring. I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't know what that is. So that's the little plunger. There's the plunger. There's that spring. See, it's pretty beefy. So the voltage has to kind of like compress that thing. Wow. There's the brass part. That's on this end is where I put the screw in and you pull it out. I think, yeah. Maybe not. Oh, he's saying that this part here, you know, can cause a problem. Yeah, I think that's the, yeah, that's, I believe that's the part where it stuck the screw in and pulled it out. But he's saying the reason that you get the high idle when it heats up is this, the expansion and contraction thing. It's not sliding on that shaft real, you know, smoothly. Maybe there's dirt in there. Can't really get inside of there to clean it. Yeah. Stop it. You can look up his videos and you know, help you understand a little bit. Saying that this part doesn't deteriorate, but what's behind it, all that plastic stuff does. Mine is nice. It's nice and clean, and it's only 39,000 miles. But I guess age has a lot to do with it, you know. So weird. Glad I didn't have to take one apart. I guess you can take it apart. He's done it and put it back together, but why? If the stuff's worn out, and his car's got like 230,000 miles or something like that, you know. Yeah, that's where I was shining the light through there. So anyways, I think I'm going to put the car back together. I'll leave the air filters off. Fire it up in the morning, let it heat up, drive it around, and see if that, hopefully, maybe that'll cure the problem. I won't have to spend the $300. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to buy the part for $300. Okay, so we're now at the 85 mark. Wow, it's not hanging up. Oh, there it goes. Oh, bummer. Yeah, it's still hanging up. Oh well. That was a huge waste of time. So I guess we're gonna get a new valve. Yeah. It kind of goes back down. It's when you rev it high. Yeah. Okay. Turn this thing off. Okay, well, I thought that might have worked. I don't know, I could pull it out a little bit more, I guess. But you know, it's got to be something internally. Something internally that's causing it to do that. Anyways, at least I know that I have voltage going to it. I really haven't found any vacuum leaks anywhere. You know, if there's voltage going to it, that means the temperature sensor's working right. The computer's working right. It's just the valve. So I think we're, yeah, we're gonna bite the bullet. All right. Well, that's it. Right there. Fits your 1991. I better check that number just in case. 289 fits. Yeah. Okay. 21 factory replacement part. God, stop it, Copilot. Signs of failing or failing idle speed control valve include unstable idle speed, constant engine stalling, engine backfire, and rough idling. So I don't have any of that problem. So it's hard to believe. It supplies air bypass for closed engine throttle during engine idle on Mercedes M119. So supplies air bypass for closed engine throttle. So it's just basically, it's just for idle. That's all. Okay, I'm going to double check this number, and if it's, let's see, available to order, ships with 1 or 2 business day available, availability not guaranteed. Well, I got the new parts a couple days later. $322. I didn't see that. Remanufactured idle speed. Crap. Now see, here's, just type this MEF service GMB. I guess it's in England, but it's 91 euro, and this is an aftermarket one also. This is what the guy, my buddy on Rob M, I believe, on Ben's World posted this up. A little too late, but so yeah, you can I found some other ones, remanufactured ones. You know, I just wanted to get one with its original Mercedes, but yeah, look that number up. I bet you it goes to a lot of different cars in that generation. It's nice and clean. If yours makes that noise, that means it's still good. I don't know what's in there that makes that noise. But yeah, I guess, and there's that little plug. Okay. got it installed, fired it up. Well, what do you think? Look at all these vacuum hoses. They're freaking everywhere. If this doesn't do it, then I'll get a smoke machine and we'll smoke this thing. Alright, I think I'll just put it back together, keep my fingers crossed. But yeah, all of these here, this is an injector, and there's one of these little air lines. Each injector has one on both sides. So you had like one of those that's cracked or something, you know, you'd have a kind of a misfire and uneven throttle response. But this thing freaking runs great. Alright, well, came back from the drive, got good temperature there, about the 85 Celsius mark. That's usually about when the thermostat opens. Ran it with the AC on. So now it's kind of like it's at about 600 RPM, but it's not hanging up like it used to. Put it in drive. Yeah, see, now it's at the 550 when it's in drive. So I think that's pretty cool. You know, I mean, I could have taken the old one and maybe push that, you know, pull that thing out a little bit farther. I don't know, you know. Maybe the spring is weak, who knows? Without taking it apart and really examining it, but I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I will. Well, I think that's worth $300. What do you think? But if I had to do it again, I'd probably just buy one of those aftermarket ones, because the one I bought from Auto House AZ, even though it says Mercedes-Benz on it, it does say remanufactured. What does that mean? Did they make a whole new unit or recondition an old one? I think they made a whole unit, new unit, whoever made that. But it's weird, it says Mercedes-Benz Germany. There's no Thailand or China or anything on it, you know. All right, so it seems to be working okay. You know, temperature's up. I got this up to the 85 mark. You know, stress it out. And it's not doing it anymore. So hopefully I'm done with that. I'm sure that valve, you know, it's 90% of the problems. If you got problems with these engines and that valve, you can, you know, monkey with it like I did. I think you should pull that thing out a little further you know, but who knows, maybe there's that spring in there, maybe it's worn out and it's supposed to do something, you know. I don't know if you could take it apart, maybe you can take it apart, but I just saw that one guy, it looked like he took a Sawzall to it to cut it open and see what's inside. Anyways, if anything changes, I'll update it. But all you guys with this type of weird idling system and its problems, and you gotta realize, you know, this car's it's over 30 years old, so but it's doing pretty good. All right, so I'll see you on the next one. This is John. I am out.